Hello guys, this video will show you how you can use ChatGPT to upscale, upres your textures. Now, before I start, I just want to let you guys know that even though ChatGPT does a fantastic job, there is still some manual adjustments necessary. But let's take a look at this one right here first. This is a prop from the game Luigis Mansion for the GameCube. So it's pretty old, and this is the original prop right here. Very low resolution. And this is what ChatGPT gives me. And once I show you here in 3ds Max what the props look like, we'll then go into, I'll show the textures up close, and we'll also take a look at the prompts that I used. As you guys can see, it kept it, enhanced these like this brass or golden detail here, and it gave me an up-res the gentleman right here. And you can see ChatGPT did a fantastic job of keeping a lot of the central parts of the character, and I just kept the long nose, the eyes, the hair parting right here, the little hair curl right here. So got that. Got the 3 buttons here on the suit. Got the blue bow tie. And sometimes, guys, with ChatGPT, it gives you like 2 options. Sometimes it says it tests a new version of ChatGPT, gives you 2 different options. So for this, I got lucky and it gave me 2 different little results here. I would say this one on the right may be a little bit more faithful, but I like this one here in the middle. So as you guys can see, this is a fantastic solution for up-resing your images. I know a lot of people like to take old assets and, enhance them. And so I think ChatGPT could be a great option for you guys. Next, also from Luigis Mansion, we have these little kitchen tools. Now, because Luigis Mansion is a very old game, these aren't even actually 3D models. These are just like flat textures, and using an alpha channel to mask this off to give the illusion of an actual object here. And so there's 2 different textures here, and I actually used ChatGPT to upscale both of them. Little wood texture here, and these as well. As you guys can see, it does a pretty fantastic job of creating, even can create a transparency as well. So I'll show you how I did that as well. But as you guys can see, it got rid of all the low resolution jagged effects and gave you very nice smooth textures. Next, I got this chair right here. And so even though it did a very good job here, you notice there's some problems here. I mean, the original texture also had some weird parts to it as well. Weird little parts here. ChatGPT did a fantastic job, but there's some adjustments that we need to make. And I did not make those adjustments, but I'll show you, we'll look at the texture and we'll show you what adjustments need to be made. So there's a lot of kind of weird parts here. Although I think I did a very good job, there are weird parts that need to be adjusted, and you would need to go ahead and manually do that. But you can select right here, I think did a very fantastic job of adding the detail here, and perhaps making the highlights here more subtle. And also I got a little video game chainsaw model as well. This is the original asset. Very low resolution in terms of geometry and texture. And then ChatGPT gave us, I think, some pretty fantastic results. It even tried to keep certain details, like we have the little red text here, and they kept the red text here. A funny detail here is in the original chainsaw, there was no text here, but ChatGPT added a RIP, rest in peace, or I guess rest in pieces, which I thought, ChatGPT has a sense of humor, very funny, so I like that. So it did a very good job here. You're going to notice some misplaced details here. For example, you notice like right here, we've got this little texture here. It goes well on the cylinder, but the ChatGPT result a little bit lopsided here, and I'll show you why that's happening, or rather how we can fix that, or rather what needs to be fixed. You notice right here, this texture is on the cylinder. Here it's a little bit off. You notice a little bit of yellow here where it doesn't need to be. But I think, guys, with a little bit of manual work, things can be adjusted quite well. All right, so that is the 3D view. That's the models. Let's take a look at, next I'll show you All right, next we'll take a look at the texture side by side. So what I did here, guys, is I took the small texture and I pretty much increased the resolution until it matched the large texture to show you what ChatGPT did here. So what you're going to notice here is that even though ChatGPT did a pretty good job, it doesn't quite match everything perfectly. And sometimes it goes ahead and adds extra sections, even though in the original texture map, there was just a black space here. It was kind of a waste of space, but that's what it was. But then ChatGPT added some things down here. So essentially, guys, sometimes you will need to go ahead and manually adjust things to make them match. So yeah, you may need to adjust, for example, the size of this. You definitely need to go in here and adjust this part right here. You know, it's ChatGPT. You know, it kind of got the gist of what this is supposed to be, but it kind of changes shapes and it kind of changes, you know, this was a little dark spot here where the pieces go in, but ChatGPT didn't really understand that. So ChatGPT, guys, is something that you guys need to kind of fix a little bit here. If you take a little bit of time to fix up its results, I think you'll be quite happy. So just go in here and use the distort tools, and you know, with the GIMP, for example, a free program, you can use, for example, you know, you got perspective, 3D transform, shear, rotate, and things like that, warp. You can kind of get things in the right position. I guess if you want me to show you a quick example, you know, I would go in here and I would select this. And I would do, for example, Control C, Control V on that. And I would, you know, decrease the transparency here. And I would kind of go in here like that. And then we can scale that. You know, you kind of scale it like that. That's an example of like small little adjustments you need to make sure things match up better. But I definitely think that overall it gives superior, amazing results, very good results. All right, with the chainsaw, you notice this is the original texture, you know, very small, but ChatGPT gives us a very high resolution result. We got to see what the problem here. Even though ChatGPT matches it up pretty well, you know, the circular part is here, this part is there. You notice it's a little bit warped in some places. So you would need to go in here and kind of change the positioning here and there. Maybe use a little bit of the clone stamp tool to fill in the blanks. But you guys can see that ChatGPT does like 90% of the work for you, but you would need to go in here, and for some reason it just has problems, guys. You know, maybe you can fix it with having a better prompt or train it or something, but it just kind of has problems putting things in the exact right place. It gets it almost right. It gets like 90% there, but you can go in there and just kind of adjust things here and there to get even better result. And I guess I'll share an example of that as well. You know, I don't really use 2D programs that much. So I'm sure, you know, maybe Photoshop AI tools can help you do this in faster, but I'll just show you a very basic result, right? So I would do that, and I would make that transparent. And I would kind of, you know, move it, oops. I kind of move it, you know, where it needs to go. And then I kind of just to see, okay, is this correct? All right, so I would then just, I'll make a duplicate of this. Right, so you go in here with like the clone stamp tool. And then let's see. So you kind of go in here, guys, and kind of like fix up some of these little seams. But you guys can see it's not that much busy work. It definitely, ChatGPT will help you to, you know, so you don't have to do this from scratch. So, you go in here and just kind of fix some things up here, guys. I won't do the full process, but just going to show you a quick example of how you can fix things up. So what I'll do now, guys, I'll save a copy of this. And for this section right here, guys, we're going to see how it should fit better on the model. All right, guys, so here we have 3 chainsaws, original texture, raw ChatGPT version, and that one little edit that I made. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and kind of compare these. Let's move this out to the side here. You're going to notice the original. Let's just isolate the part in question. Notice the original here. It didn't quite fit on the cylinder, so you get that weird warping. But guys, once you make the little change, and maybe still some. And remember, guys, these are old models, so there's sometimes just plain old unwrapping issues. So maybe we want to do like a better unwrap. But you guys can see once you manually adjust some things, the texture fits on there a lot better. So if you guys can just do that, if you guys can just go in there and just change some things around, you will find that ChatGPT does most of the work for you. All right. Also with the kitchen tools here, you can see the increased resolution. But what I had to do, guys, is I had to cut some things out here and reposition them more in the original position. So once again, guys, ChatGPT does very good work, but you may have to go in here and adjust some things. Let me show you the texture ChatGPT gave me here real quick. You can see that ChatGPT kind of cut off this part of the spoon. So I had to just kind of duplicate this and then mirror this and things like that, and just kind of, adjust the positions. But it does a very good job of giving me updated, up-res results. All right, guys, and now we'll take a look at the actual prompts that I used. So if you click right here, you can add photos and files. So I added this low resolution texture, and I said, take this image and upscale it, adding good painterly, cartoony detail. Make the texture 4 times larger and return it to me as a JPEG image. And it went ahead and did that. And it gave me 2 responses. So right here, you just kind of change between the responses. All right, next I took the chair texture. Take this image and upscale it, keeping the structure but adding realistic weathered wood textures with worn edges and worn leather on the leather part. Make the texture 4 times larger and return it to me as a JPEG image. Now, there may have been a mistake with this prompt because it gave me a different aspect ratio. Whereas this original one was square, this one here is not. So I tried it again, and it gave me this again. So I said, okay, do it again, but this time keep a square aspect ratio. Remember, 2048 by 2048, and it gave me a good result. Chainsaw. Take this texture for a 3D model of a chainsaw and upscale it, keeping the structure but adding realistic details. Make the texture 2K and return it to me as a JPEG image. Okay. I said, so it didn't quite give me the square aspect ratio. So it says, do it again, but keep the aspect ratio as square and make it 2048 by 2048 pixels. And it gave me the result right here. So I got something to kind of finagle with ChatGPT a little bit. Take this image of a wooden object and upscale it, adding good painterly cartoony detail. Make the texture 512 by 1024 pixels. Format JPEG. Take this image of kitchen utensils and upscale it, adding good painterly cartoony detail and smooth out any jagged parts. Make the texture 1024 by 512. Format JPEG. You can see it gives me this. And I say do the same task, but this time give me a transparent image and make the background transparent. And it gave me a transparent background, but you can see I had to fix the spoon here and reposition some things as well. Okay guys, so that has been using ChatGPT to obscure textures. I think you'll have a lot of fun with it. I definitely think this is the best result out of all of them. So be sure to give it a try. Thank you for watching and take care.